Welcome back everybody. In today's video I'm going to be discussing Microsoft's decision to end Publisher, effectively discontinuing it altogether, and my opinions about why I reckon Microsoft should still keep it as a program for the business and for the package, and my opinions on it entirety. And then I'll also be showing you free alternatives that you could still use to maintain all your everyday designs, like products and posters and brochures. So if you are going to find this helpful and interesting, make sure you like, subscribe and share. The first thing I want to read out really is from the support. Now, I did do a brief Google search just to see if it was making headlines elsewhere, and interestingly enough, it's not. But I could imagine next year, or maybe 3 or 4 months before October 2026, it will start to circulate on other various news websites. But this is the only reference I could find, and it's a really interesting one as well, because it says here, in October 2026, Microsoft Publisher will reach its end of life. After that time, it would no longer be included in Microsoft 365, and existing on-premises suites will no longer be supported. Microsoft 365 subscribers will no longer be able to open or edit Publisher files in Publisher, but until then, support for Publisher will continue, and users can expect the same experience as today. Now, there's one good question here I want to ask is, if Microsoft is, well they are, but effectively are they going to be reaching a new price for subscribers that's using its services already? Because if you're taking Publisher away, it obviously deduces the value of its Office suite. So are they going to be maybe reducing prices for customers that are already using its services? And secondly, is that going to have a knock-on effect for any programs that's on your system? Are Microsoft behind the scenes going to make it unusable? Going to make it slow or sluggish? It's really good things to bear in mind there, because as you know, if it was the same for Apple and they was discontinuing various iPhone systems, Apple behind the scenes will make those sluggish in some way. So you'd have to upgrade it at some stage. I know it's a little bit different in terms of Office Suite and an iPhone, but is that what Microsoft is going for, making it sluggish? So you get fed up with it and use an alternative one like Word as such, or PowerPoint even. I don't think Microsoft should discontinue it. I think there's a lot of interest for people that's using it already. I can't be hypocritical, everybody. I don't use Publisher as much. I have used it though for various posters I did create over the last couple of weeks, but I'm not a frequent user of Publisher. I just like it though, everybody, and I can speak for probably other people as well, and I say this, is its user interface. If you use Word for posters and brochures and flyers and leaflets, you're spending 10 or 15 minutes extra trying to get the layout to where you want it to be, and you've got to like right click and set and wrap text just to move it more easily. I mean, it can be incredibly annoying. And also it's down to like maybe it's text as well, because I think not so much Word but PowerPoint has so many text styles and word art and things, so it being discontinued, it'll just make Word being so basic. People might have to move on for poster creating because they're not getting the full, the full justification, like tools and elements, just to make it viable as such. But what I'm going to showcase everybody at the bottom, it says here how to prepare for before October 2026. So as you can see, the ads or flyers. The recommended app is Word, PowerPoint or Designer. I've not used Designer, everybody, so I don't know much about that program. If you have, let me know in the comments what you think of Designer. I've not used it, so I don't know how powerful it is. But brochures, they directing you to Word or PowerPoint. In a sense, though, everybody, if Microsoft is discontinuing Publisher, that's more of a business decision, I think. because everybody uses Word for like typing or document creating. So it only makes sense for Microsoft themselves to, force everybody to use Word for poster creating and stuff like that. But I just think it's a bit too full on. I don't think Microsoft should be making the decision for them. I think the customer should be making it for themselves. I personally think Publisher all day long for those activities, because it just makes sense. I mean, if Word is document creating, PowerPoint is presentations, Outlook is for email checking and to merge emails together. Bear in mind, I think Outlook may look unlikely that it will be here in the next 5 years, but I probably will be right if I mention that anyway. Uh, and it's just and even Excel, for example, then like spreadsheet creating. I mean, what life will Excel have then if Publishers is an X to be discontinued? Are they on short shelf life? Are they the next ones that's going to be in the can? Who knows? But I do think that everybody in Microsoft should really think twice, because everybody likes Publisher. I mean, even if I have to create a poster, I would use Publisher. I would even use Canva as such. I wouldn't use Word for that. I just don't think the accessibility is the same on Word, and that's where Publisher has that gaining point. I do think Publisher is so underrated, but it's also so powerful.